Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to answer the question which EV stock I think is a better buy right now, Tesla stock versus Rivian stock versus NIO stock. First, I'm going to look at short-term factors for all three of these EV stocks. Then I'm going to compare them on longer-term factors.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So let's jump right into it, starting with Tesla and what's happening with Tesla right now. So Tesla recently announced its third quarter production and delivery numbers, producing 430,488 vehicles in the third quarter. Remember, management noted that they're going to slow down production in the third quarter to maintain and upgrade their manufacturing facilities. So far in 2023, Tesla has produced 1.35 million vehicles, and their target is for 1.8 million in 2023. So to hit this goal, they've got about 449,000 vehicles to produce for the fourth quarter, which would be somewhere in between their second quarter and third quarter production. Totally feasible. I fully expect Tesla to hit this target for 2023. Now, that's coming on the back of aggressive price cutting from Tesla in 2023 to make sure that these cars that they're producing get sold. They don't want to hold on to these in inventory. They want to make sure these are out in the road, on the road, and cash is coming back in so that they can use that cash to invest in more inventory, invest in upgrades, invest in more facilities, and the company's got very ambitious long-term growth prospects, and so it wants to invest in those prospects. It's not so much focusing on near-term profitability just yet, even though it's one of the best in profitability, which I'll touch on a little bit later. Also, the Cybertruck launch was expected to happen in the third quarter. That didn't happen, so that's been delayed. It's coming soon, and that's going to be a catalyst. It looks like not for this year, but that's going to be a strong catalyst for Tesla stock investors in 2024. How much and how quickly can they ramp up production of the Cybertruck, and how much will it increase the production targets for 2024? That's on the precipice. It's almost here. Investors are waiting anxiously for this moment where the Cybertruck can join Tesla's other vehicles and increase their sales, increase their production, increase their market share. Another thing with Tesla, they're demonstrating their charging network dominance. You would have noticed in between the second quarter and third quarter of 2023, Tesla signed major agreements with several automakers, including GM, Ford, and Rivian, for them to use Tesla's charging network. That may not immediately provide money for Tesla, but what it did demonstrate is its superiority of its charging network, how it's established that, and how it is in the lead in terms of its charging network. That could be a big positive for Tesla stock investors in the long term, especially if Tesla ramps up production to the numbers that they're hoping to get to in the long run. Every month or every week, vehicle owners of Teslas have to go in and charge their vehicles. If they're charging at a Tesla charging station, that's a nice set of recurring revenue that Tesla can earn beyond the point of making that sale for Tesla vehicles. And I already mentioned that Tesla's got best-in-class profitability. We'll see this a little bit later on in the video too. When I compare Tesla with Rivian and NIO, you'll see just how much better Tesla is at profit margins and profitability compared to its rivals. It's done an incredible job at boosting profit margins as it's increased production. Arguably, no one is as good as Tesla in this regard, and so that's why the company feels confident in its price wars, because it can produce at the lowest price, and so it's got that competitive advantage, and it's really exercising that advantage with these price cuts. Tesla is also progressing towards autonomous driving technology. It's collecting a lot of data. It's got arguably the most data among any car maker in terms of autonomous driving technology. This is a long run goal. This is not going to happen this year, not even next year, most likely. But if Tesla does achieve this driverless car technology, that can be a huge, huge upside catalyst for Tesla. So much so that the number is almost unquantifiable because the potential is so large. If Tesla can have a fleet of robo taxis out there that it's charging customers for rides and all of these other things, it's such a big opportunity. It's hard to quantify. It's just something like a big moonshot goal. Tesla achieves this, huge positive for Tesla stock investors. Now let's move on to Rivian. Rivian updated investors with their third quarter production numbers as well. They delivered or they produced 16,304 vehicles in the third quarter. So far 38,242 for the year, and their target is 52,000. That means for the fourth quarter all they have to produce is 13,758, which would be below their second quarter mark of 13,992. Again, I fully expect Rivian to hit this target. They're well ahead of pace. I wouldn't be surprised if they exceed this target in 2023. And some of the big issues to know about Rivian stock, of course, if you've been following it, you know that Amazon is a strategic investor with a massive order for electric delivery vans from Rivian. That's been supporting the growth for Rivian, that side of the business, the orders from Amazon, the capital backing from Amazon. That's something to keep an eye out for. Also, Rivian is working on a new facility that will be coming online in 2026. That's going to expand its manufacturing capacity. Right now, it has about a capacity of roughly 150,000. Again, it's not near reaching or maxing out this capacity. So it's good that the goal is to get this online in 2026. That'll give it a couple of years to at least get close to this 150,000 figure in its current manufacturing facility. And that new manufacturing facility is going to come online with the new R2 platform, next generation technology that's going to drive costs lower for Rivian manufacturing. And right now it's ramping up production of the R1S, which is the SUV. It's got an SUV and a pickup truck. The SUV has higher average selling prices and more customer demand. It's got more of a backlog of orders for the SUV than the pickup truck. And finally, Rivian recently announced that it made a convertible note offering of $1.5 billion, and the news of that sent the stock price down 20%. 20%. Now, you could argue that was an overreaction or an underreaction. I've got a video on that. I'll link to it at the end of this video so you could dig a little bit deeper on what that note offering means for Rivian stock investors. Finally, let's look at NIO and its latest news. And it also produced 55,432 vehicles. These are delivery numbers, not production numbers for NIO. For Tesla and Rivian, those were production numbers. For NIO, these are delivery numbers. So far, it's delivered 109,993 for the year. And I wasn't able to find a target for 2023 for NIO, what they're aiming to achieve for 2023 in terms of production and deliveries. If you know of that or where I can find that, please comment down below and let me know. That would be helpful. I would appreciate it. Rivian NIO in the third quarter, you'll notice a big upgrade in terms of deliveries from 23,000 up to 55,432. That was a big step forward for NIO. Now, NIO's got a goal of delivering 20,000 vehicles per month starting in the fourth quarter. It's a little bit behind pace on that goal because in September, it only delivered about 15,000. So it was actually behind pace in terms of the third quarter and in this goal of 20,000 per month. It's also prepping to ramp up to 30,000 per month deliveries. Starting August 1st, new orders of NIO cars were not entitled to free battery swaps. Not entitled to free battery swaps. So this is another way of NIO raising prices on its cars because it's now not coming with this free battery swap offer within its sales. So that will be positive for NIO's profit margins. And speaking of profit margins, they're targeting double-digit gross profit margin in the third quarter and 15% gross profit margin in Q4. So they're really planning, they're really getting up there in terms of their profitability towards the second half of this year, and that's likely due to the increase in deliveries, right? They're going from 31,000, 23,000 to 55,000 and possibly 60,000 in the fourth quarter. If you're looking at the 20,000 per month times 3, 60,000 total for the fourth quarter, that's really going to help profit margins increase. Over the last several months, NIO launched 5 brand new models, and they're increasing their sales staff to support that expansion to help sell those new cars. And also on September 25th, NIO offered $1 billion of convertible notes. So both Rivian and NIO raising capital, getting ready to invest in further growth plans. Let's look at what's going on longer term for these companies, starting with the revenue figure quarterly. And this chart really demonstrates Tesla's dominance here. 24.9 billion in revenue in its most recent quarter compared to just a little over 1.2 billion for Rivian and NIO. But more impressively, look at the growth that Tesla has demonstrated, right? Growing from a little over, let's say, 10 billion in revenue up to 24.9 billion in quarterly revenue. The company's done a fantastic job in efficiently and effectively growing its business. It's not wastefully growing the business, right? It's growing the business, and let me show you the net income here. And as the business has grown, its profitability has grown. That's what's truly impressive with Tesla, is not just the growth in terms of production and deliveries, it's the growth that's leading to profits, because that's not the case for a lot of its rivals. And NIO and Rivian are two examples. Look at NIO. Its net income is going in the wrong direction, falling down to 873 million in the most recent quarter. Rivian is making progress. After losing over 2 billion in the quarter ending 2022, it's reducing those losses on the bottom line to 1.19 billion in the most recent quarter. It's at least heading in the right direction, although it's got a lot of room to go before it can achieve the kind of profits that Tesla is delivering. And finally, I wanted to look at valuation. And looking at this, it makes sense that Tesla is the most expensive, trading at a forward price to sales of 6.494 compared to 2.584 for Rivian and 1.096 for NIO. So Tesla stock is trading at almost 6 times the valuation of NIO and more than double the valuation of Rivian. Although in my opinion, I believe that Tesla deserves this premium valuation over these two rivals because of the superior performance it's demonstrated over the last several years. So if I was to pick one of these 3 EV stocks to buy today, I would pick Tesla. Tesla would be my choice. But before I let you go, let me ask you, if you've gained benefit from this video, if I've added value to you from this video, please subscribe to the channel. It would really help support videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching.